Welcome back. You're watching Meet the Diplomat. Mr. Raheen, there are few people who are coming, infiltrating to a nation and creating problems there. Who are they?
So they are Taliban terrorists and some terrorists from different countries. There have been, many of them have been arrested. They're from different parts of the world.
Wouldn't you like to mention Pakistan?
No, coming, so I'm not talking about Pakistanis. They are not, all of them are not Pakistanis. There are Pakistanis among them too. There are brainwashed Afghans too, and also from other parts of the world.
Who is supporting them?
So they receive support from outside the country. In Afghanistan, we don't have terrorists. We didn't have terrorists, and you don't see terrorists in our history. Even the days we were fighting against Soviet, a very strong power. When we were fighting against Soviets, you cannot find even a single event to kidnap a woman. So when we were fighting against Soviets, their women were walking the cobble streets, but nobody bothered them. And so we were fighting against Red Army, not kidnapping people, not killing.
But our external forces like Pakistan is involved in resurgence of the Taliban?
Look, Pakistan itself, this wave of terrorism is dangerous for all of us, not only for Afghanistan. It's an international disaster. So Afghanistan, Pakistan, India, all countries of the world, it's a danger for all of them. So what is needed is that we should join hands and along with other forces of the international community, fight against terrorism. And this will not stop only in Afghanistan. Obviously, this will not stop only in Afghanistan, and they proved that they are dangerous for all human beings. So it's all countries and all nations' obligation to fight against.
But somewhere do you see a truce between Taliban groups and the Pakistan government?
I cannot say the government, but there are certain groups in Pakistan, and they are in cooperation with Taliban, but I cannot say that about Pakistani government.
Do you see somewhere the Taliban is regrouping and coming into power once again?
No, it's impossible. You know, what they have done during their rule, 5-year rule in Afghanistan, so people hate them and nobody will accept them. It's impossible. And besides that, you cannot find in human being history terrorist powers to stay on power long.
But are you afraid of the fact that somewhere in the mind of Afghani people, there would be some anti-Pakistan feeling?
Talking about Taliban and their friends outside the country, as I mentioned, there are certain groups outside the country.
Afghanistan has seen a lot of disaster, right? And it has not been able to recover itself from the disaster it has come through. So somewhere some kind of anti-Pakistani feeling is there.
No, this disaster doesn't have anything to do. The whole thing doesn't have anything to do with you know, when we say Pakistan, there's government of Pakistan, there's the nation of Pakistan, there are certain terrorist groups of Pakistan. It's hard to mention Pakistan and blame a country only naming a country. So it is a complicated issue.
Any kind of negotiation that you have come up to with Pakistan?
According to President Karzai's suggestion, there will be a jirga between tribes from both sides of the Duran line. And I hope there will be some good results to help peace and prosperity in the region.
Another major issue is Osama bin Laden and Mullah Omar. What has made you not been able to trace them both?
Those two dangerous people, only we are not obligated to look after them. All international community is looking for them. So, but I'm sure they cannot hide forever.
Where do you think they are?
If I knew that, I would have let you know.
Do you think that Pakistan is somewhere still interfering in the government running in Afghanistan?
As I mentioned, it's hard to mention Pakistan's government, but there are certain groups, and probably Pakistani government is not agreed with those groups either. But Taliban have some friends in Pakistan, close friends, and of course they receive assistance from their friends.
Narcotics trade and smuggling has been taking place across the border of Afghanistan and is thriving on that. Why have you not been able to stop this?
This narcotic trafficking and smuggling issue is connected with terrorism. Mostly where terrorists act, you can see narcotic trafficking and smuggling in that area too. So if we can do something effective about the security, that problem will be solved too. And besides that, after almost 3 decades of war and distraction, of course the situation was different from what we had before. And the government is working hard fighting against narcotic smuggling and trafficking. Yeah. But as I mentioned, these 2 problems, terrorism and drug, are connected to each other.
European diplomats said, "We did not want to believe that Pakistan wants to destabilize Afghanistan. But now we have come to the conclusion that this is the reality." When the diplomats are agreeing, why are you not?
So if they are agreed, then they have to talk to Pakistani friends and ask them not to do. If they think they are doing something wrong, then they have to ask them not to do it.
France said that would take off the forces that France has placed in Afghanistan, supporting allied forces.
So this is, as I mentioned, an obligation of the whole international community. If we don't take care of terrorism now, if we don't get rid of terrorism now, this danger will be stronger and stronger, and one day the problem will be too huge to be get rid of.
And with India, we've had a very cordial, very friendly, healthy relationship. We'll talk on that, but before that, we'll again go for a short break. Keep watching Meet the Diplomat.